As an organic farmer, I remember my first organic inspection. I prepared for weeks to come up with the perfect application and included this long, detailed narrative of all the reasons I thought I should be granted certification. Fast forward about 15 years, and I'm pleased to let you know that that was overkill. The great thing about organics is who gets certified and how the process is conducted is super straightforward. So we've broken it down into 8 steps from thinking about certification to holding that certificate in your hands. I wanted to say before we dive in, however, that I would have been so much better set up for success if I had had a consultant who could have filled out my OSP, sat with me through the inspection, and ultimately guided me through the process. OSP management is a big job, and keeping your OSP up to date and reflective of your actual practices is helpful to any farmer. Finding a certifier. The first thing you have to do when thinking about going organic is find an organic certifier. There are over 50 organic certifiers in the United States, and even more internationally. All are accredited by the USDA National Organic Program, and all are required to interpret the Organic Foods Production Act in the same way. So how do you decide which certifier to go with? Typically, certifiers do have regional expertise. Some certifiers work a lot with grain farmers. Other certifiers have a lot of produce clients. One of the best ways that I have found to pick a certifier is to go into the Organic Integrity Database and find out who are the biggest certifiers in your state. Then find out who certifies your neighbors so that you can have a mentor who's familiar with those forms and the procedures of that particular certifier. The application. When you've decided which certifier to go with, they all have their application forms available right on their website. Certification administration is a pile of work, and it takes many employees to review applications, assess OSPs, and conduct inspections, and ultimately issue certification. Each certifier is its own business and sets their own fees. These fees can range, but on the whole, farm certification cost is fairly consistent across certifiers in the United States. Land. So you might ask, how do I know if my farm's certifiable? The organic certification system starts with the land. When a parcel of land has been verifiably free from prohibited substances for 36 months, the field can be eligible for certification. Certification is granted for each parcel of land individually, as opposed to the farm as a whole. The land history and all the substances applied in the past 3 years must be disclosed to the certifier at time of application. The person or entity that has managed the land for the last 3 years leading up to certification will need to legally attest in an affidavit as to the start date of transition, or the date that the last prohibited substance was applied on a parcel. I put the emphasis on parcel rather than the whole farm because in an organic certification system, it works on a parcel-by-parcel basis. The cool thing about this is that you can transition at a rate that works for your operation. Specifically, organic certification does allow you to have both conventional and organic fields on the same farm as long as you can prove that the two systems are kept completely separate. The Organic System Plan, or OSP. After you make contact with your chosen certifier, they will give you a blank copy of the Organic System Plan. These forms contain questions about all of the aspects of your operation which, in aggregate, allow the certifier to assess whether the farm appears eligible for certification on paper. The certifier is a resource when filling out the OSP, so if a question doesn't quite make sense to you, give them a call and ask for clarification. The initial review. After you submit your application and have completed the Organic System Plan, the certifier will follow up with any additional questions. They'll work to identify any reason that an operation could be in violation of the Organic Foods Production Act, and if everything looks good, they'll send out an organic inspector. The inspection. The inspector is the eyes and ears of the organic industry. Every certified organic operation receives an inspection every single year, and it's through these inspections that the certifier ensures that what's written in the Organic System Plan is actually what's happening on the ground at the farm. The inspector does not make any certification decisions. They just write what they find, and from there, they submit an inspection report to the certifier. Final review. After the inspection, the inspector submits a report to the certifier with their findings, and from this report, the certifier issues or denies certification. Certificate issued! Once certified, an operation is required to update their OSP if any changes occur and receive an annual inspection. Otherwise, they're certified to sell organic products. So those are the steps to certification. Now we're going to dive deeper into the key elements of the organic system plan and guide you through how to interpret the sections and what specific information certifiers are looking for.